Many hundreds years ago, there was a country ruled by a prince named Zaman. His wife was the beautiful princess Mahnur. One day, the prince went hunting with his wife. They spent the whole day by searching for prey. As evening fell, the prince set up camp and sent all his ministers and guards back, telling them to return the next morning to collect them. After wandering for a while in search of prey, both the prince and princess felt tired. The prince said, "This place is peaceful. Let's rest here for a while." They decided to set up a tent in an open space and rest. "You are right, Your Highness," said the princess. "We have been walking since morning and we are quite tired. We need to rest for a while." The heavy jewelry she was wearing made her even more uncomfortable. She thought that if she took off her jewelry, she would feel much better. With this thought, she removed her jewelry and placed it on a nearby rock. "This is a safe spot. I will leave my jewelry here," she said, feeling confident that she had placed her jewelry in a secure location. Just as she was about to tell the prince about her decision, a bird suddenly appeared and grabbed her precious ring in its claws, flying away. Princess Mahnur cried out, "Oh my God, look, that bird is taking my precious ring, my beloved ring." Saying this, Prince Zaman said, "Don't worry, princess, I will get your ring back." He immediately ran after the bird, shouting, "Stop! Stop, wicked bird, that is not your food." Unfortunately, the prince could not catch the bird. He chased it for a long time, but the bird was too fast. Determined, the prince did not give up. Whenever the bird stopped, the prince also paused and tried to catch it. This cat and mouse game continued for a while. At one point, the prince realized that he had lost sight of the bird. He looked around but could not find it. It then occurred to him that he had lost his way. At that moment, he thought of Princess Mahnur. "Oh God, Princess Mahnur is alone back there. I must return at once." Navigating through thorny bushes and avoiding wild animals, the prince started to retrace his steps to the spot where he had left the princess. As it grew dark, finding the way back became even more difficult. After a long struggle, he finally returned to the campsite only to find that Princess Mahnur was nowhere to be found. "My dear princess, how will I find you in this dense forest?" he lamented, regretting his decision to send the guards away. Meanwhile, after the prince had chased the bird, some wild animals had attacked the lonely Princess Mahnur. Frightened, she ran away to save her life and unknowingly wandered into another king's kingdom. Seeing a strange girl at the border, the guards took her to the king. The king, a kind and righteous man, listened to the prince's story and said, "Princess, you are welcome to stay here as long as you like. I will try to send you back to your country soon." Meanwhile, Prince Zaman, in his search for the princess, found himself in a beautiful garden. "Wow, what a beautiful garden!" he remarked as he wandered around. Suddenly, a bird flew over his head and a glittering ring fell from its claws onto the ground. The prince picked it up and exclaimed, "Oh, this is Princess Mahnur's ring, the one the bird had taken. Thank God it's returned." He happily picked up the ring, but then remembering the princess, he became sad again. He searched for her in nearby kingdoms, but everywhere he went, he faced disappointment. After many days of searching, the prince finally arrived in the kingdom where Princess Mahnur had taken refuge. Upon arrival, he learned that a new princess had recently come to the king's palace. The prince thought, "The new princess must be my Mahnur." Prince Zaman devised a plan to find out if the new princess was indeed his Mahnur. He disguised himself as a merchant and bought a jar of honey to King Samad's court. He said, "I have heard that the princess loves honey. I have worked hard to collect this pure honey and I wish to present it to the new princess." Luckily, the king granted permission, saying this merchant has brought pure honey with great effort, so this jar should be sent to the new princess. The jar of honey was delivered to Princess Mahnur. As soon as she poured the honey out of the jar, a beautiful ring fell out with it. The princess was astonished because it was the same ring that the bird had taken in the forest. Overjoyed, she exclaimed, "I'm sure that merchant must be Prince Zaman." She immediately ran to meet the merchant. As soon as she saw him, she cried out in joy, "I knew it! It had to be you, Prince Zaman." The prince too was overjoyed to see her and breathed a sigh of relief. The king, witnessing this reunion, was also very happy. The prince thanked the king for hosting the princess for so many days. The princess said, "Thank God, we are together again. I'm so happy." And then they happily returned home.